What's up, guys? You're here with Goran from Pickdawgz, and thank you for joining me here for your free Champions League picks for Tuesday, November 28th. Well, guys, we had a busy weekend. We hit some nice free picks. Unfortunately, both parlays were lost on just the one leg, and both of those were lost by one goal. So, unfortunate thing happened, but we move on, guys, and we are moving on to the Champions League. Uh, we are half of the group stage in it. We have still three games left in the group stages. We have some teams that are basically already secured the knockouts. Some teams are still in the hunt, and it should be an interesting end of the year in the Champions League. For more free picks, of course, go up to the Pickdawgz YouTube channel. Check it out, guys. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button. And for my best bets, click the link in the description of this video, and that will get you up to my page on the Pickdawgz website where you can sign up, get a daily pass, 3-day pass, or even a 7-day pass if that's something you want to do. We are gonna kick it off, guys, with the 12:45 p.m. Eastern Time games. We have two of those, and the first one is between Lazio and Celtic. As we can see, Lazio is a pretty heavy favorite, but I think that's mostly because Celtic has been pretty bad so far in this Champions League group stage. Defensively, by far the worst team in this group, with 12 conceded goals, only three scored goals, and still winless. As far as Lazio goes, they are right now in the second place behind Atletico Madrid with 7 points, five scored goals, five conceded goals. But overall, they are not that good of a team this season, and they are struggling a lot. They're coming off of a loss to Salernitana in Serie A, and even though it's only theoretically, Celtic could still take over that second place or maybe even third place and get to the Europa League if they get a win here. So. Uh, I feel like Celtic will try to attack here. Celtic will try to get to the scoreboard. However, they're missing a bunch of players, and that is not going to be an easy task to do. But thanks to Lazio's sloppy defense this season, uh, I'm going to go with over 2.5 goals, minus 143. I'm going to try to avoid both teams scoring simply because I could honestly see Celtic getting shut out and Lazio scoring 3 goals on their own. But I could also see Celtic getting on the scoreboard and make our job a lot easier. So Lazio versus Celtic over 2.5 goals. The second game at 12:45 p.m. Eastern Time is between Shakhtar and Royal Antwerp. That's Group H. And with the win against Barcelona a few weeks ago, Shakhtar give themselves a chance to try and qualify for the knockouts, and they're now 3 points behind Barcelona and Porto, which is going to be another matchup in this video later on. This is a game where Shakhtar simply has to go for the win. That's going to be the easiest way for them to get to the knockouts, or at least give themselves a chance. While Royal Antwerp, they have 4 losses out of 4 games. They have scored only 3 goals so far in this Champions League group stage, conceded 14. I believe this is the first time they've ever competed in the Champions League, and you can definitely tell they're struggling a lot on both ends. They simply don't have the depth right now to compete in multiple competitions, and this is actually a very good chance for Shakhtar to get a win here. Now we are getting them at minus 103, but I decided to go with both teams to score at minus 139. I think that Shakhtar will try to go for the win, and that should leave them a little bit open for Royal Antwerp to try and get on the scoreboard, which I think they definitely have the office to do so. So Shakhtar versus Royal Antwerp, both teams to score. Now we are moving on to the 3 p.m. game, and the first one is between Feyenoord and Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid is leading this Group E with 8 points, while Feyenoord is in third place with 6 points. However, Feyenoord is a very, very solid team, and when playing at home so far in the Champions League, they have scored 5 goals in 2 games. Defensively, they were also very solid with only one conceded goal. But Atletico Madrid is in a really, really good form right now. They are playing outstanding football this season, and I think that they will get on the scoreboard, and I think they will try to secure the knockouts by getting a positive result out of this game. So. Both teams to score in over 2.5 at minus 112. This is going to be my pick for this one. I think the over 2.5 might be solid as well at minus 136 if you don't want to push this with both teams to score, but I do like it a lot. So I'm going to go with both teams to score and over 2.5 goals at minus 112. Milan and Borussia Dortmund is one of the biggest games of the day, and I think it's going to be a very interesting one. Dortmund might be leading the group right now with 7 points, but Milan has beaten PSG in the last Champions League game, and they have rejoined the race for the knockouts. Now, these two teams haven't done much offensively, while Borussia Dortmund was very, very solid defensively so far with only two conceded goals. And I'm gonna do something I am not doing almost ever. So this game stinks of the under 2.5, to be honest. So I'm gonna take under 2.5 at minus 108. Hopefully that the one time that I pick this, that I won't be wrong. But I honestly expect both teams focus a little bit more on the defense. And we know that Milan has been struggling with scoring goals as of late. They're barely getting a goal a game, if that. And I think that's gonna be a very, very hard game for them here. So Milan versus Borussia Dortmund. I'm going with under 2.5 and hoping for the best, to be honest. PSG and Newcastle is another matchup in this group F, and I think this is going to be an interesting one. I think it's going to be a lot closer than the books are predicting it here, with PSG being minus 152 favorites, especially because they're missing a few defenders, and we know that they are not that good of that solid defensive team this season. They do get a little bit sloppy. Luckily for them, they have the offense to compensate for that with Colomwani, Mbappe, Dembele, and a bunch of other guys up there. But you really can't win every game simply by having the offense and very little effort on that defensive end. As far as Newcastle goes, they're coming into this game with a ton of injured players. This team is basically a field hospital. Dan Burn is out, Boatman is out, Anderson is out. I see Longstaff listed as questionable. Murphy is out. Colin Wilson is out. Willock is out. Matt Target is out. Harvey Barnes is out. I mean, they're basically missing half of their team, and yet they were still able to demolish Chelsea in the EPL earlier this week, actually, this past weekend. It was a 4-1 win for Newcastle, and I think that that was a huge confidence boost for this team. So I believe that Newcastle will be the dangerous team here. They haven't scored in their last two Champions League games, if I'm not mistaken, both games against Borussia Dortmund, but I definitely see them getting on the score sheet in this one. So both teams to score another 2.5 for a nice plus 102. I will gladly take this pick any day of the week, guys. Manchester City is hosting Leipzig, and Manchester City is at the top of this group with maximum 12 points, 4 wins out of 4 games, only 3 conceded goals, and 12 scored goals. That's an average of three scored goals per game. And Holland has been having a great Champions League so far, and so did a bunch of other players for Manchester City. As far as Leipzig goes, they're in the second place, and these two teams will be advancing to the knockouts. Even though theoretically, Crvena Zvezda and Young Boys still have a decent chance of getting to that second place, but I simply don't see it happening. And these two teams will be going to the knockouts. However, this is a pretty big game, and I think that both teams will try to get a win out of this one, especially Manchester City at home, which is their fortress, and they're very, very hard to beat when playing at home. Leipzig is coming into this game with a few injuries. I see that Orban is out, Benjamin Šeško is out as well, Timo Werner is out as well. They are missing some key players, and they are also coming off of a loss in Bundesliga to Wolfsburg 2-1, which was definitely not a good result for them. But I think they can get to the scoreboard in this game. I think that Manchester City tends to lose focus on the defensive end. They try to push a little bit more forward, and this is a big game for Leipzig. Even though they're playing on the road, I think that they will try to get a positive result out of it. Maybe even get on the scoreboard multiple times, but at least once. I think that's a given in this game for me. So I'm gonna go for the full money in this one. I'm taking City to win and both teams to score at plus 163. I know that City will be the dominant team. They will have majority of the possession. They will have a lot of shots on target and so on and so on. So be careful with this one. I think it's worth a shot for like half a unit, maybe even a little bit less. It's paying out at plus 163, and I think it's going to be a great game to watch. Young Boys and Crvena Zvezda, like I said, is the next matchup of this group, and these two teams are fighting to get to that third place and qualify for the Europa League. Neither of these teams have been doing well so far. 11 conceded goals for Young Boys, 10 conceded goals for Crvena Zvezda. Five scored goals for Crvena Zvezda, only four scored goals for Young Boys. The last match between these two teams have ended in a 2-2 draw, if I'm not mistaken, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see something very, very similar here in this one. If Young Boys wants to get to the Europa League, this is a must-win game for them. But then again, Crvena Zvezda will want to do the same thing as well. So both teams to score in over 2.5, minus 122. This is gonna be the pick for this game for me, and this is gonna be I think a nice winner for us. Maybe even if I put it in the double with something else and get a nice plus money out of it as well. So, Young Boys versus Crvena Zvezda, both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. And the last pick of this video, guys, is between Barcelona and Porto. Two teams leading their group. Both have 9 points. Porto is now at the top with a little bit better goal difference. Uh, and this is not going to be an easy game for either team. You know what? Barcelona, as dominant as they are in every one of their games, they're struggling a lot with scoring goals. They are struggling with creating those good chances for their strikers to finish it up. And they are coming off of a 1-1 draw against Rayo Vallecano, a game again in which they were super dominant, in which they had a ton of possession, they had a ton of passes, but they barely created a few chances to get that equalizer in the second half. As far as Porto goes, we know that they're one of the best teams in Portugal, and they are on a nice winning streak right now, during which they've scored 8 goals in 3 games and kept a couple of clean sheets. So they also got a decent result against Barcelona in actually, they lost 1-0 to Barcelona in that reverse fixture about a month and a half ago. But I think that they will try to get a positive result out of this game. And you know what? With a shaky defense that Barcelona has, I think that Porto has a very good chance of getting on the scoreboard here. I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see a low scoring game once again. We can see that the over 2.5 is only at minus 139. But I would be very, very careful with the goals in this one. So instead of the sides and the goals, I decided to give a shot with the Porto and their total shots on target. Porto over 3.5 shots on target, plus 133. Uh, I think that they have what it takes to create enough chances here to give us those 4 shots. And when we put Barcelona's defense in front of them, that defense has been a little bit shaky this season, and they are giving their opponents a lot of chances and shots. So, Barcelona versus Porto, I'm taking Porto total over 3.5 shots on target at plus 133. That's it, everyone. These were free picks for the Champions League on Tuesday. I hope you have a great day, guys. Good luck with all of your bets. And of course, stay tuned for more free picks coming up soon. And we have another busy week, guys, with a bunch more Champions League games, Europa League, Conference League, and so on and so on. So enjoy your day. Good luck with all of your bets, and I'll see you soon at more free picks.